This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe, and well, with Bleu Davinci talking so much, acting like he almost, put BMF on. I mean, the way he talks is like, yo, I got Meech to do this. I got him dressing like this. I got Jesus. Bro, these guys were making millions of dollars, bro. I hate how he's trying to take credit for certain things when it's like, bro, you knew nothing about you weren't a part of setting up their operation and everything. You were part of setting up the record label. He was their artist. I'm getting so sick of this guy just trying to take too much credit. Like, oh, they put J-Bo in the trunk. Bro, you weren't valuable enough to be put in the trunk because you didn't do anything. You were the rapper. But anyways, let's talk about the history of them. Okay, so we all know they started off in Detroit. Everyone's watching the show. Okay. And they began drug dealing, blah blah blah, 50 bags of cocaine, and they were called the 50 Boys at first, right? They were under E.D. Boyd, and E.D. does a great interview with Vlad. If you want to check that out, he said, "I told them I groomed them from day one to be bosses, so this day was coming." That's the same thing I did. They eventually moved on from E.D. Boyd. Then they, Southwest T lost design a shooting. There's rumors that it had something to do with Lamar from the TV show, which is really Layden B. Simon, right? This is the guy they had beef with in Detroit. Some people say he got hit in the neck, in the stomach, and all that. Anyways, they began to recruit people. They moved to Atlanta. They got a Colombian connect. We've seen all that. And they moved to Atlanta, and they began to make a name for themselves. Now they lived there. They started going back and forth in the 90s. I love how like Bleu Davinci's like, oh, we didn't go there to 2001. J-Bo even says he met them in Atlanta in 97. They didn't do any robbing. They had no problems. And they live by this mantra of like, put everybody on to let be bosses. You don't want anybody to be hungry and try to rob you. So they grew to an extent of, Alabama, California, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Michigan, Mississippi, Missouri, North Carolina, Ohio, Tennessee. They had like 500 affiliates. They had drug connects and with Mexican cartels. I mean, they were controlling cocaine in the nation. Let's see, E.D. Boyd maintained that Big Meech wanted to let everyone know he was a big player in the drug game. As a result, Meech would frequent hip hop biggest stars of the era, Jay-Z, Puffy, all that stuff, and listen, his connections with all these stars, right, enabled him to, finagle Bleu Davinci in there. Bleu Davinci just wasn't the best rapper, he was better at like managing the record company, and that's what he should have kind of done. He says he tried to recruit Jeezy and this person, but I don't know, man. I think he really had dreams of becoming a rap star. You could tell by the way he was talking about it. Like, yo, we could go get a deal over here and make millions of dollars. That would have been cool, but like these guys were making millions of dollars every week, It took a lot to get them excited. Even Jeezy talks about record deals didn't get him excited because he was already rich, when he went to go to a deal. 50 Cent said he heard about BMF in 2003, knew to stay clear because he would have been tempted to jump into the drug game himself. So then, anyways, Bleu Davinci has this story where he found Jeezy, made him dress like an LA Crip and all this stuff. What really happened is, and I don't care if he says, oh, I influenced Bleu Davinci and how he dresses. Bleu Davinci was moving around the country. Influenced Big Meech and how he dresses. Big Meech was moving around the country. It's not like he was like new to like seeing things, By that point, when Bleu Davinci hooked up with him, he had already been moving around the country and, was already kind of knew who he was as a person. Bleu Davinci, I think, takes credit for too much. Bleu Davinci doesn't show enough he doesn't show enough respect. Like nobody would know you, bro, without Big Meech's money. Like that's the only reason people hang around with you is because of the BMF connection. Um, Someone said he was very instrumental in Cheesy's career in the early 2003. Blah, blah, blah. They say this in the rise and fall of Big Meech. This is true. He paid for a lot of stuff. He made it look good. Jeezy wasn't broke, but he made it look a little better. All the cars, the movement, and everything made it look good. Um, Eventually, J-Bo details that there was a rift between the brothers when it seemed that Southwest T, Big Meech's brother, was skimming from the keys and making other keys, so he was like taking a little bit out of each key, and that caused a rift between them, and they weren't on speaking terms when they got arrested. And a lot of people didn't like that Big Meech was so flashy, and then he got into the whole thing with Wolf that brought on a lot more attention with their investigation, the FBI's investigation, all that kind of stuff. So, um, the way Bleu Davinci does it is that, Southwest T robbed the Connect for $3 million, which that's like nobody talks about that story. I don't know what, maybe he's lying. Who knows? But, they would buy out all the champagne, all that stuff. They would make sure people knew they were in the club when they were in the club, Um, Anyways, of course, what goes up must come down. And, a lot of people started getting caught and taking deals like O-Dog, Doc, these kind of people. And the empire crumbled, with every person that got arrested. It's just what happens. And the indictment, the big dogs fell first. There was like rounds of indictments, because like they'd get more information on more members. It was like 500 members. 30 of them were like cold-hearted snitches, from when you read everything and see everything. It's very detailed. Bleu Davinci is like very insecure with who he is, and some people did call him a snitch, and I understand him defending that part. But you were an artist, and that's when people are trying to attack him and call him a snitch, like there's not a lot of paperwork on that, because if he had just said something or became a CI, we already know he took a safety valve and, had to go into court and cooperate to an extent. But I don't think he's the biggest snitch. The only thing I have a problem with is him making such a big deal about this. It's like, bro, let it go. Like say your piece and let it go. To keep it going and keep trying to drag other people that really were actually doing this kind of stuff. They were actually drug dealers and they were actually moving thousands of keys. You can't downplay someone for being a driver. How do you think the money gets two places and back? And how do you think they make money so you can ride in these cars, go to the club, make it look like you pay for studio time? Like these are the guys that made it happen. It's like a lack of respect, and someone that doesn't understand how the business works. It's just like, dude, I don't know what to say. Like this illegal business. They just didn't flip it into a legitimate business. Meech looked at it as a money laundering thing. That's all. He didn't look at it as a real business. And when you're managing that much of a load, the way he was, 500 people, cruise around the whole nation and everything, it's hard to sit down and focus on another venture. It's very hard. Anyways, the only thing that could have happened is they piled a bunch of money, didn't spend it for like a couple of years, and then maybe made a move. I don't know, like bought small business along the way and washed money through it. That's the only way I could have seen it happen. But Meech felt like buying businesses and stuff would attract the wrong kind of attention, and it would be a faster downfall. I don't know. This is Jordan Tower with JT News, and I'll check you guys in the next one.